Michel de Montaigne once said, "The best thing in life is to understand how to be true to yourself." Do you ever feel like you're on the outside looking in? Like you're just observing life, noticing all the games people play and the meaningless chats, and none of it resonates with you like it does with others? That's because you're not like most people. You don't just go through the motions, you watch closely. You don't just accept things, you challenge them. In a society that values fitting in, you might feel out of place, like a stranger in your own world. Others expect you to be interested in things you find superficial. They want you to conform, to admire what's popular, to settle for surface-level interactions, to just play the part. But you can't. You recognize the falsehoods. You pick up on the lack of genuineness. And because you hold out for meaningful conversations, genuine connections and true purposes, you often find yourself walking a path alone. Here's the truth. There's nothing wrong with being unique. You're not flawed for desiring depth in a superficial world. You're not too intense for seeking authenticity. Being a Sigma female means you realize you were never supposed to blend in. You're supposed to look deeper, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. Why you feel like an outsider, why that's actually your strength, and why the world might never fully get you. But remember, you should never have to change. Number 1. They follow their own rules, which most of society doesn't acknowledge. Many people change their views to match what others find acceptable. They say things to fit in, even if it's not what they really believe. They adhere to unspoken social norms, faking smiles, agreeing with things they reject, just to keep peace. Society values this conformity. It makes life easier. But Sigma females, they don't follow this pattern. They live by principles they've developed based on their own life experiences and thoughts. They don't adopt beliefs simply because they're popular. They keep their values steady, regardless of the latest trends. Their understanding of right and wrong comes from within, not from what others say. This often makes them feel misunderstood. While others change their views for approval, Sigma females stay consistent. This can unsettle others. Why doesn't she laugh at jokes everyone else enjoys? Why doesn't she jump on new trends? Why does she question common beliefs? Because she isn't trying to fit in. She aims to see things clearly. Society struggles with those who aren't easily influenced. Sigma females refuse to give up their principles just to be liked. They won't pretend to be happy just to blend in. They avoid things that seem pointless. This sets them apart, and being different can be lonely. However, this strength is crucial. When you live true to yourself, you don't lose your way. You don't end up becoming someone you're not. While others seek approval, you follow your purpose. They may waver, but you remain firm. That's why you feel unique. Because you are, and that's exactly why you should stay true to yourself. Number 2. They don't form connections based on shared views. They connect through a shared way of thinking. Many people make friends because they like the same things or agree on politics, trends, and life. It's comfortable and secure, and for most, that's enough. But Sigma females don't look for agreement. They aren't interested in whether someone agrees with them. They seek someone who thinks deeply. For them, a real connection is about the way a person thinks. Do they question things deeply or just repeat what they've heard? Can they discuss different ideas without feeling attacked? Do they search for truth or just want to be right? This is why Sigma females often find it hard to make genuine friends. Many people hold tightly to their beliefs, seeing questions as threats. They prefer conversations that are agreeable, not those that challenge their thinking. But Sigma females thrive in discussions that expand the mind. where ideas are tested and everyone learns. They are very choosy about who they spend time with. They might meet someone who agrees with everything they believe, but still feel no connection. Conversely, they might bond with someone who often disagrees with them, but values thoughtful discussion. That's what sets them apart. Because such connections are rare, they often feel alone, not by choice, but because they won't settle for superficial relationships. The good news: when they find someone who truly shares their mindset, the connection is incredibly strong. It's based on mutual respect, the freedom to think independently, and a relentless pursuit of understanding. No fake agreements, no superficial nods, just two minds that are alert, engaged, and fully alive. That's not just a friendship. That's a profound alignment, and it's worth waiting for. Number 3. They don't see themselves as victims, but as unique individuals who can shape their own destinies. Many people who feel like they don't fit in usually do one of two things. They either change themselves to be accepted or get upset and blame the world for their troubles. Sigma females do neither. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves or complaining that they don't match society's expectations. Instead, they step aside, study how things work, and quietly begin to change the rules. They view life as a game where they are active players, crafting their own journey. If something in their surroundings doesn't make sense, they don't just go along with it. They find alternative routes, uncover shortcuts, and figure out ways to live according to their own rules, without asking for anyone's approval. While many people are busy trying to climb up the social hierarchy, Sigma females question if that hierarchy is even worth the effort. While others blindly follow trends, they scrutinize the reasoning behind these trends. If they find something lacking, they drop it and create their own better option. This way of thinking sets them apart and can be unsettling to the conventional way of life. They don't think like everyone else, which makes them unpredictable. They're not swayed by group pressure because they don't rely on others for their sense of worth. They aren't concerned with fitting in, which allows them to innovate, disrupt, and transform in ways that others can't. This path isn't simple. Choosing your own way means facing challenges, feeling alone, and continually dealing with people who don't understand you. But Sigma females don't view this as a disadvantage. They see it as strength. While everyone else follows the rules, they are out there changing the game. Number 4. They feel like they're from the future. Sigma females don't just think about tomorrow. They plan far ahead. While most people are planning their next weekend, they're plotting the next 10 years. While others get caught up in current trends, they're already evaluating where those trends will lead and if they're truly significant. It's not that they ignore the present. It's that their minds are always looking ahead, considering how today's actions will influence the future. This gives them an uncanny ability to anticipate trends and patterns in society, relationships, and even their own lives. They notice when things begin to change before most people see any signs. They can tell when cultural shifts are about to take place, or when small actions will lead to big changes, which is why they tend to be more disciplined, more strategic, and less impulsive. But this forward-thinking approach can make them feel disconnected from the current world. While everyone else is focused on immediate pleasures and drama, Sigma females consider the long-term effects of their actions. They see others repeating the same mistakes and wonder why no one else sees the bigger picture. This makes it hard for them to connect with most people. They avoid petty social games because they know these won't matter in the long term. They don't bother proving themselves to people who won't be significant in a few years, and they don't link their self-esteem to quick praise because they're focused on much larger goals. Sometimes they feel like they belong in a future where people value depth over appearances, wisdom over popularity, and authenticity over fitting in. Until then, they remain on the sidelines, observing the present as if it's a story they've already read, waiting for everyone else to catch up. Number 5. They're not afraid of being alone. They fear being stuck. Many people avoid loneliness as if it's something terrible. They fill their lives with noise, relationships, social media, and constant activities to avoid having to face themselves. Sigma females don't have this issue. They like spending time by themselves. Silence doesn't intimidate them. It helps them think clearly. Being alone doesn't wear them out. It energizes them. But one thing truly frightens them: feeling trapped. Not in a physical sense, but being mentally, emotionally, and socially limited in ways that don't match who they are. They're scared of waking up one day to find themselves in a relationship where they have to downplay their own needs to avoid conflict. They dread wasting their energy on people who are only interested in shallow interactions. They're afraid of being pushed into a life that they didn't choose for themselves. Pointless chatter tires them out, and social duties that don't serve any real purpose feel like being in jail. They hate the idea of being stuck in a routine, a belief system, or an environment that prevents them from growing. This is why they are very selective about their friendships and relationships. They don't rush to fill an empty space in their lives. They don't force themselves into places that don't fit, and they definitely don't just do what society expects, because it's the norm. This is why they are often misunderstood. People think they are distant because they don't like being social. That's not the case. They simply avoid situations that feel fake or superficial. Others think they avoid relationships because they fear getting close to someone. That's not true either. They know that being in the wrong relationship can feel lonelier than being by themselves. For a Sigma female, being alone means freedom. But being stuck in a life that isn't truly theirs is their worst fear. Number 6. They have a hard time with the idea of just believing without questioning. Most people are okay with accepting things the way they are. They're told what to think about religion, culture, politics, and success, and they follow these ideas without questioning them much. After all, if millions of people believe in something, it must be right, right? Not for Sigma females. They don't accept beliefs just because they're popular. They examine them. They take a belief system apart, look at every detail, and put it back together to see if it really makes sense. Often they find flaws, contradictions, hidden motives, and outdated ideas, things that most people either overlook or ignore. This makes having faith in anything quite complex for them. Not just religious faith, but faith in systems, authority, and traditions, anything that expects them to follow without questioning. It's not that they reject everything, but they can't just follow blindly. They need evidence, logic, and consistency, and many belief systems don't offer that. This puts them in a difficult spot when people say, "Just trust it," or "You just have to believe." They can't do that. When society promotes a one-size-fits-all story, they naturally push back. While others find comfort in certainty, Sigmas feel more at ease with uncertainty because, at least, it's honest. This doesn't mean they go through life without any beliefs. It means their beliefs are tested, challenged, and proven before they accept them. If they believe in something, it's because they've scrutinized it and found it sound. If they trust someone, it's because that trust was earned over time, not just given. Their quest for truth might set them apart, but it also gives them freedom. while others are confined within belief systems they never questioned. A Sigma female navigates life on her own terms. No illusions, no blind belief, just the clarity of her own thoughts. Number 7. They have a wandering mind. Many people form their identities based on their backgrounds, family, traditions, cultural roots, and national pride. They find comfort in being part of a certain group, place, or lifestyle. Sigma females aren't like that. Even if they adore a city, a culture, or a community, they never feel completely attached to it. They might admire its beauty, honor its customs, and even join in its traditions, but deep inside, they stay mentally unattached. They don't connect in the same way others do. It's not that they're lost. It's that their perspective is unique. They realize that no single place, ideology, or identity can fully define them. They don't feel the need to cling to one spot because they recognize that everything is temporary. Places shift, cultures transform, and identities evolve. This sense of detachment makes them feel like outsiders wherever they are. Even in places they have lived for years, there is always a subtle understanding that they could leave any moment. They have no emotional bonds holding them back, no blind loyalty, just the liberty to move wherever life feels right. However, this freedom has its price. While others take solace in their origins, Sigmas often feel adrift, never fully settled, never truly at home. They are mentally present everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This nomadic mindset isn't just about physical locations. It's about their way of thinking. Sigmas don't adhere to strict beliefs or age-old traditions just because they were raised in them. They approach ideas like a traveler exploring new territories, learning, adjusting, and taking what fits while leaving the rest. In a world where many seek certainty, Sigmas are comfortable with the unknown. They don't need a permanent dwelling, a set belief system, or a single identity. Their home is wherever their thoughts lead them. Number 8. They perceive life in depth, not just events. Most people accept life as it comes. If something happens, they respond. If someone cracks a joke, they laugh. If a friend complains about a tough day, they offer sympathy and move on. But a Sigma female doesn't just go through experiences. She analyzes them. She recognizes the deeper meanings behind every interaction. A casual joke isn't merely a joke. It's a glimpse into someone's thoughts. Why did they say it? What's the real feeling behind it? Was it just humor, or something else like a diversion, a test, or an unintended plea for attention? Others might laugh and forget, but her mind has already pieced together the psychology behind it. Conversations are more than just words to her. She picks up on what is said and what is omitted. She notices changes in body language, tone, and the pause before someone speaks. She senses the tension in a space before anyone else does. When someone smiles, she can tell if it's authentic or forced. She doesn't just listen to what people say, she understands why they say it. This insight makes her extremely aware of details most overlook. It's why she's seldom caught off guard. She can sense when someone's mood changes before they speak a word. She can detect when a relationship is turning before the other person even knows. But there's a downside. This intense perception can be isolating. When you see life in layers, it's challenging to connect with those who only see the surface. It can make social interactions draining because you're not just there in the moment. You're analyzing everything simultaneously. But this is also your strength. You navigate life with an understanding most will never reach. You avoid pitfalls others fall into without a thought. You grasp people better than they comprehend themselves. And although it might feel lonely, it's what makes you formidable. Number 9. They watch before they join in, and this can make others feel uneasy. Many people don't hesitate. They jump into conversations, follow trends, or dive into social scenes right away. They fill quiet moments with chatter, respond immediately, and fully immerse themselves in what's going on. This behavior is normal and expected, but when someone remains silent, observing and thinking, it makes others feel odd. That's how the Sigma female behaves. She doesn't just blend in, she analyzes the environment first. Upon entering a room, she doesn't rush into the bustling scene. She notices the atmosphere. She observes interactions that others often overlook. Who is the true leader? Who is trying too hard? Who hides their insecurity behind a loud voice? Who is watching her just as closely? People aren't used to someone like her. They expect someone to engage right away, but she approaches with thoughtfulness and strategy. This uncertainty about her intentions, whether she's quietly assessing, biding her time, or simply uninterested, adds to the mystery and makes others uneasy. And here's the important part. Often, she really does see things others miss. While everyone else is quick to speak, she picks up on missed details. While others respond on impulse, she identifies patterns. And when she does speak, her words are deliberate and insightful. She doesn't seek attention needlessly. Instead, she speaks truths that come from careful observation. This makes her hard to predict. People can't easily figure out her stance because she doesn't share it right away. And what people can't understand, they often fear. But this cautious nature is her advantage. While others might share too much too soon, she keeps her insights to herself. While they act without thought, her actions are impactful. She doesn't just live in the world, she grasps it. That's why she always remains distinct. Number 10. They often feel separate from what the group is feeling. Have you ever entered a room where everyone is sharing a feeling, laughing at a joke, excited about something minor, or upset over a common frustration, and you just don't connect with it? It doesn't mean you're emotionless or indifferent. You see what's going on. You understand why people feel as they do, but somehow you're not drawn into it. This is common for Sigma females. While most people easily soak up surrounding emotions, they stay separate. It's as if they're looking through a clear barrier, observing human emotions unfold without becoming part of them. It's not that they don't have emotions. In fact, they experience deep feelings. But their emotions aren't swayed by the crowd. They consider their feelings privately and make up their own minds, without the push of group influence. If everyone else is angry about something, they won't just join in. They take a step back, think it over, and decide if it's really worth getting upset about. If there's excitement about a new trend, they won't just go along unless they truly care about it. This might make them appear distant or even cold at times. Others may wonder, why isn't she reacting like us? Doesn't she care? But in truth, Sigma females don't let the external mood control their inner feelings. They don't participate just because it's expected. They don't pretend to feel something they don't. While this might make them feel isolated, it also gives them a unique sort of independence. They see things clearly without the blur of shared emotions. They remain authentic to themselves, even in a world that often demands conformity in feelings. And this is a subtle yet powerful form of freedom. Number 11. They seek knowledge, not just information. Most people are content with skimming the surface, gathering bits of information that sound right or fit into their worldview. But Sigma females, they dig deeper. They don't just consume information, they seek knowledge. For them, Understanding doesn't come from hearing something once or repeating what everyone else believes. It comes from questioning, researching, and verifying. They want to know the why and the how, not just the what. This quest for deep understanding makes them lifelong learners, always curious, always exploring new ideas and perspectives. They aren't satisfied with easy answers or quick fixes. They need to see the whole picture to connect the dots themselves. This can make them seem like they're forever questioning and rarely satisfied, but it's because they value truth over comfort. They prefer the challenge of knowledge to the ease of acceptance. Number 12. They inspire change by being themselves. While most people try to fit into the world, Sigma females reshape it just by being who they are. They don't set out to change the world with grand gestures or loud declarations. Instead, they influence change subtly through their actions, decisions, and the sheer force of their authenticity. They show others that it's okay to be different, to think differently, and to live according to one's own standards. This silent influence can be powerful. By refusing to conform, they challenge others to question their own paths, to think about why they do what they do. Sigma females often become role models without trying, simply because they dare to live true to themselves in a world that often rewards conformity. They might not always see the impact they have, but their strength and integrity inspire those around them to start their own journeys of self-discovery and truth-seeking. Feeling like you don't belong can be tough. Moving through life as though you're speaking a different language, while everyone else seems to get along perfectly, can make you doubt everything: your purpose, your place, even your own sanity. But here's the truth: you're not broken, you're not lost, you're simply different, and that difference is your biggest strength. Sigma females aren't meant to fit into the world because they weren't created to. They weren't meant to follow the usual rules, blend in with everyone else, or accept popular beliefs without questioning. They were not born to be easily understood. Instead, they were born to observe, to think critically, to challenge and to carve their own paths rather than follow someone else's. Yes, it can feel lonely. Yes, it can be tiring. But here's something not many people will tell you. The world needs individuals like you. It needs those who don't just take things as they are. It needs those who look deeper, think longer, and reject settling for superficial relationships, unquestioned beliefs, or a life controlled by others' rules. You don't have to change to fit in. You don't have to tone yourself down to make others comfortable. The right people, those who grasp your depth, your quiet, your independence, will recognize you when they meet you. And when that happens, it will be genuine. Until that moment, cherish your uniqueness. Hold on to your viewpoint. You are not alone. There are others like you, spread out across the globe, each walking their unique paths. Keep moving forward. Continue being exactly who you are. Because while the world might not always notice you, it will certainly feel the impact of your presence. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.